Thanks, everybody. A lot of us have had a chance to meet. If we haven't, my name's Kane Osborne. I'm the Deputy Superintendent here at the district. And welcome. Thank you for coming out tonight. Tonight's presentation is an update on the state of the district. It comes as a result of feedback we heard from the community throughout the Future Focus 203 community engagement process. You spoke and the district listened. Participants throughout Future Focus commented that they appreciated hearing about our district, our celebrations, our challenges, and our vision. Tonight, this panel of district administrators plans to share that information with you. Tonight's panel includes Dan Bridges, our superintendent, Jen Hester, our chief academic officer, and chief school business office official, Brad Kaufman. At the end of the presentations, Community Relations Director Julie Carlson will provide directions for breakout activities and feedback. Dan will have the honor of speaking to you about our celebrations since our last State of the District report and tell you a little about who is in our district. Jen will update you on what we're doing in our classrooms throughout the district. Brad will provide an update for you on our financial state. I have the pleasure of reporting to you some of the information about what we'll be doing and how. And Dan will also be providing you with an overview of the strategic blueprint. All of our sessions will follow a timed agenda with this format. Tonight, we'll start with an informational presentation about the topic that you're going to learn about, followed by a small group work activity giving you the opportunity to respond to what you hear. It is important to note that this session will not be conducive to the format of an open forum, a Q&A, or a debate. These are work sessions focused on results and reaching consensus or collective decisions as a group. We want to maximize our time to be as positive and productive as possible while still allowing for the free exchange of ideas, which we're confident the structure of tonight will provide. The intent is to involve a large number of people that is as representative of the community as possible. Here's how the process is going to be documented. It should look familiar. When you arrived, you should have received a packet of information. In that packet, among other things, you will find a copy of the presentation and a copy of the 2020 Strategic Blueprint. Following our presentations tonight and the one tomorrow morning at Grace United Methodist Church, we will prepare verbatim responses from each small group worksheet and an executive summary reflecting the collective work of all participants at these sessions. We will also post a video of the presentations on the district website. All Focus 203 State of the District information, materials, and documents will eventually be posted on the new district website. So make sure you go to the website. I don't think I need to give you that address for this news and other updates. If you haven't already done so, please like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Naperville203 and follow us on Twitter at Naperville203 to stay connected to everything that's going on in the district. There's also a new mobile app which you can download for free from Google Play or the Apple App Store, and just search Naperville 203 to download the app. A few other housekeeping items remain to be mentioned. We know your time is very valuable and we want to honor our 2-hour time commitment. Tonight's session will end on time. We have planned a pretty tight agenda. We have a lot to cover in a short period. As such, it'll be important for us not to interrupt any of the presenters with questions along the way. We know you will have questions and we want to capture those questions in a way that is most effective. Therefore, we request your patience with our plan and procedure for questions and comments tonight. There will be questions and comments that will arise that may not be directly related to tonight's presentation. So we have I have a question comment forms available. And as they come up, if you have a question or comment and are not able to respond during the small group time during the second half of the evening, please complete one of the forms and turn it in to us at the end of the session. You can always call us or send an email also. We will have the appropriate person respond in a timely manner. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you our Superintendent of Schools, Dan Bridges.
Great. Thanks, Kane. Oh, well, I'll take that. Thank you. A huge thank you to everybody for giving us your time this evening. It really does mean a lot to me, and it means a lot, I know, to our Board of Education that you're willing to give your time and to engage in conversation with us about our school community. I am very pleased to see so many familiar faces, and I was actually pleased to see a few faces that were new to me and I didn't recognize. So we're happy to have all of you join the conversation. One of the most clear recommendations we heard from our community throughout the Future Focus 203 process was that you'd like to be included in ongoing communication, have opportunities for this two-way type of engagement. So that's exactly what we hope to get through the through the Focus 203 sessions. Each Focus 203 session is intended to be on a topic that you as a community tell us you'd like to hear more about and learn more about, more as an informational presentation. Last spring we introduced the Focus 203 session with a discussion about mental health, and many of you attended that. Tonight we return to provide an update on our first community engagement session, which we offered to you in March 2013, the state of our district. In addition to the current state, I'll share with you how we've used your input as a community to guide our development of a strategic plan, which we call our strategic blueprint, and that we think will guide our work through the year 2020. An outcome for this evening will be to hear from you about what you're curious about and what you'd like to learn more about as it relates to our strategic blueprint and the goals we've identified for our future. Our next Focus 203 sessions will be responsive to the input we receive from you tonight and then also from our community tomorrow morning. So let's get started. It's an important place for us to begin when we talk about the state of the district by reviewing who we are as a school district and what makes our school district one that is so worth celebrating. Who we are is grounded in our beliefs, our vision, and our mission. A clear outcome from the Future Focus 203 community engagement sessions was that our mission is alive, it's strong, and it will continue to guide us as we move forward. Our beliefs represent our core values and define what we believe is important. And the Naperville Community Unit School District 203 believes an exemplary school district, values the dignity and uniqueness of each individual, promotes responsible citizenship, and is the result of a collective partnership of students, staff, parents, and community, and this is an important part of that. Our vision represents our desired future. Our vision is to build a passion for lifelong learning. It is our hope that our students will leave us ready for college and career, but with an appreciation for continued growth and continued development. And we share this vision for ourselves too, and that as professionals we are continuously growing and learning so that what we do in our classrooms and throughout our schools represent best practice on current research. The Focus 203 premise, like tonight, is built on the commitment to provide you, our community, with opportunities for continued learning about our school district. Our vision commits us to that idea of continuous growth. Our mission is our purpose, and it's what we do. In our district, we educate students to be self-directed learners, collaborative workers, complex thinkers, quality producers, and community contributors. Many of you have commented that as long as we focus on each strand of that mission, the academic, the social, emotional, and physical development will come along with that. Because of our commitment to our mission, we're able to celebrate many great accomplishments, so let me share some of those celebrations with you. Naperville Central and Naperville North were both ranked among the top 5% of public high schools in the nation by U.S. News & World Report in 2014. Chicago Sun-Times ranks both high schools among the top 20 in the state, and the Tribune lists the two in the high schools in the top 25. 11 District 203 schools have been recognized in the last 4 years with an Illinois State Academic Excellence Award. An important ingredient to our school's success, of course, is our students. In this past year, our high schools qualified 59 National Merit Scholars. In spring 2014, 1,291 students took more than 2,381 advanced placement examinations. Add to these accomplishments the countless state titles, and recognitions in athletics and activities at all of our schools. At one of our high schools, we had an individual state champion in tennis and one in diving last year. The Naperville Central football team won a Class 8A state championship, while the Naperville Central lacrosse team won their state title, and our boys soccer team placed third. And our math counts team from Kennedy Junior High won the state championship, and a group of students from Mill Street and Highlands, as many of you know, collaborated on a film project that earned recognition from the White House at the White House's first Student Film Festival. Our school district is fortunate to have those talented students, and those students are supported by outstanding teachers, wonderful families, and a very supportive community. Seth Brady, a teacher here at Naperville Central, was just identified this year as a finalist for the Those Who Excel Illinois Teacher of the Year. From among more than 200 applicants, he ranks among the top 12 with the hopes that we'll have another state Teacher of the Year following Josh Stumpenhorst in 2011-2012. Additionally, in 2013, the National VFW recognized Courtney Thomas from Kingsley Elementary School as one of its Teachers of the Year. Other distinguished excellence recognitions include 2 recent Golden Apple winners, an Apple Distinguished Educator, and more than 85 National Board Certified teachers. National Board certification is the most rigorous process in the teacher profession for advancing one's expertise and is shown to directly correlate to increased student achievement. We do all this in 22 different schools in various other locations throughout Naperville. Naperville Community Unit School District 203 is comprised of 14 elementary schools that serve students in grades kindergarten through 5th. There are 5 junior high schools for grades 6 through 8 and 2 high schools serving grades 9 through 12. Our school district also serves preschool students ages 3 through 5 at the Ann Reed Early Childhood Center and special education students ages 18 through 21 in its Connections program located within the District 203 owned Naper North Commerce Center located on 5th Avenue across from the district's transportation office. Along with the Public Schools Administration Center, School District 203 owns approximately 30 other acres of land in various locations throughout the community, many of those acres being leased to the Naperville Park District. As of September 12, 2014, there are 16,860 students in our schools, and as you can see, our student enrollment has declined slightly since we last spoke, which is something we projected. We are in the process of completing a new demographic study so that we can best predict our enrollment trends for planning into the future. At our first community engagement session in March of 2013, I shared with you the changing demographics regarding our district, and this surprised many of our participants. It's important to note this evening that we still continue to change. This slide shows you our student demographics on the first day of school this year. Our student population continues to change. The demographic categories listed on this chart are the subgroups of student populations as defined and as indicated in the Illinois School Report Cards. Additionally, this information can be found on Illinois' interactive report card. We embrace the diversity of our community, and the district will never falter in its commitment to fulfilling the mission for all of its students. And at this time, District 203's Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Jennifer Hester, will share with you an overview of students' progress and share with you some exciting things that are happening in our classrooms throughout the district.
Good evening, everyone. One of the ways we measure our students' success is through standardized achievement. Students in grades 3 through 8 take the Illinois Standard Achievement Test, or the ISAT. The bar chart on the screen shows the percentage of students in grade 3 through 8 who met or exceeded expectations on the ISAT. You have a copy of this bar chart in your PowerPoint handout, and the data can be found on the Illinois State Board of Education website under Interactive Report Cards. In blue is our district's composite percent meets and exceeds over the last 2 years, compared with, in red, the state's ISAT meets and exceeds percentage. The cut scores on the ISAT were revised in 2012 to reflect more rigorous expectations. The district's meets and exceeds percentage has increased while the state's percentage remained the same. Scores for the spring of 2014 will be available in November. Our high school students take the Prairie State Achievement Examination, or the PSAE. This graph is also from the Illinois Interactive Report Card found on the ISB website. The data is displayed for graduating classes. For example, the graduating class of 2014 took the PSAE in the spring of 2013 when they were juniors. In blue is our district's composite percent for PSAE meets and exceeds over the last 5 years, compared with, in red, the state's meets and exceeds percent. The district meets and exceeds percent has increased over the past 5 years. Students in their junior year take the ACT as part of the Prairie State Achievement Examination. This bar chart shows the composite ACT scale score for students from the graduating class of 2013 and the graduating class of 2014. The maximum score on the ACT is a 36. You have a copy of this bar chart also in your PowerPoint. In blue is our district's composite scale score compared with, in red, the state's composite scale score. District 203 ACT scores increased to one of the highest levels in the history of the district. ACT sets benchmark cut scores for each subject area in order to create a common focus for schools across the nation, establish high expectations for students and schools, promote a rigorous curriculum, inform college counseling, and measure and evaluate progress of students in schools. The benchmark is a score that, according to ACT's research, reflects a 50% chance of students scoring a B or greater, or a 75% chance of students scoring a C or greater in college entry in the respective content area. ACT reports these scores as benchmarks for being ready for college and careers. What these really tell us is that the probability of success in the freshman course in these disciplines. Almost all students take college English as a freshman. Not as many freshmen take college biology. So students have more choices when they meet each of these benchmarks. To be ready for college and careers involves more than test scores. Our staff, curriculum, activities, and athletics provide students with opportunities and promote behaviors that will help our students be successful beyond the test scores. But our students demonstrate an academic readiness to attend college or to begin a career through these scores. The highlight is that 86% of our graduating class of 2014 met the college English benchmark. 54% of our students have met all 4 benchmarks, meaning that they have the flexibility in choosing the field they can study in college. This is over twice the state percentage. While the scores are very good compared to the state average, we are continuing to strive to improve these scores so our students have more opportunities available to them. It's important to note, though, that our state assessment system is changing this year. In 2010, Illinois joined a consortium of many states called PARCC, or the Partnership for Assessment of Readiness for College and Careers. PARCC will replace both the ISAT and the PSAE. The assessment is designed to measure student performance on the Common Core standards. It is considered to be the next generation of assessments in that it will be technology-based. Students in 12 states and the District of Columbia will take the PARCC assessment this year. The PARCC will assess student performance in both literacy and math. Students taking the assessment will take a performance-based assessment and an end-of-the-year assessment. The assessment will be administered to students in grades 3 through 8 and to students taking English 3 and Algebra 2 courses. The English 3 and Algebra 2 are typically taken by our juniors. As a district, we provide comprehensive curriculum, programs, and services for our students. It is our goal to always provide the highest quality instruction and respond to best practices, new research, and new learning standards. We review and revise our curriculums regularly, ensuring that our learning pathways for students are rigorous, relevant, and provide students with the leverage and readiness for college and careers. This review process, as well as the adoption of new standards at the state level, has led to development of new curriculum in math, English language arts, and science. Our math curriculum is in its second year of implementation. The curriculum focuses on application of concepts through mathematical practices. The practices encourage students to demonstrate perseverance in solving problems. Heavy emphasis is placed on developing reasoning and critiquing the reasoning of others and communicating understanding of mathematical concepts through real-world situations. With the dual focus on the practices and the concepts, students develop the ability to use cognitively appropriate strategies in varied mathematical applications. Our new English language arts curriculum is being fully implemented at all grade levels this year. The curriculum integrates instruction in reading, writing, listening and speaking, and language. Our students read increasingly complex fiction and nonfiction texts to develop their ability to apply communication skills across all content areas. Students analyze authors' strategies within and among text and apply these strategies to develop their own writing. Special emphasis is placed on understanding and constructing argument in all components of literacy, and strong speaking skills are integrated throughout the grade levels. The main goal of the English language arts curriculum is to produce independent and persistent communicators. Our science curriculum is currently in the development phase. This science curriculum is being designed with the next generation science standards. Like the framework of these standards, this curriculum will focus on developing scientific thinking in science and engineering practices, deep conceptual learning, and understanding of core scientific content. As part of this development process, the science curriculum team recommended a new high school science course pathway to the Board of Education. In the fall of 2015, all freshmen will have the opportunity to take chemistry. The full implementation of high school and junior high school curriculums will be in place at the start of the 2016 school year, with the elementary curriculum following in August of 2018. All of our curriculums integrate complex thinking skills, independence, collaboration, and communication, and are intentionally constructed for student success in college and careers. In addition to reviewing our curriculum and programs of instruction, the district continuously seeks to improve instructional delivery and resources. One of our key instructional initiatives is to increase our students' opportunities for learning in a digital environment. We believe that teachers can achieve higher means of meeting our students' individual needs by strategically designing learning environments that blend both print and digital content to provide students with control over what they are learning, how they are learning, and the types of support that improve their learning. As students gain independence and maturity, they can also gain control over where they are learning and when they are learning. This year, the district launched an online and blended learning consortium with Indian Prairie District 204 and Wheaton-Warrenville District 200. The consortium's name is Expanding Learning Opportunities and is commonly referred to as ELO. The consortium is offering online courses for high school students with the hope of expanding opportunities to junior high and elementary school students in the future. In addition to providing online learning courses, our district is implementing a digital learning initiative to study the teaching and learning benefits provided by the use of electronic devices in the classroom and at home with the student. This digital learning initiative encompasses 41 selected classes taught by 50 teachers in 13 schools across the district. The digital learning initiative seeks to learn the most effective means for transforming learning in the digital space and to identify the most appropriate devices and technology environment to support the learning. At this time, I'll turn the presentation over to Brad Kaufman, our Chief Financial Officer.
All righty, thank you, Dr. Hester. The district receives funding through three main sources: our local revenue, such as property taxes and interest income; state revenue, such as general state aid, special education aid, transportation reimbursement; and finally, federal revenue. As you can see from this chart, the state of Illinois, on average, provides public education with only 26% of their total revenue, the light gray area. In District 203, the state provides far less, 8.7%, making our district much more dependent on local funds, 88.6%, or the light blue. Property taxes are the greatest source of local funds and account for 84% of overall district revenue. The district expects the state funding will continue to decline in the next 10 years, thus increasing our reliance on property taxes. Why do our property taxes pay more proportionally share than the rest of the state? Why are we so dependent on property taxes? The state and federal funding is largely formula driven. This means that they tend to provide more funding where local wealth, as a measure of real estate value, is lowest. Although the property tax dependency is a challenge for the district, there is a positive side to this term in terms of serving our students. The state has failed to support its obligations by providing only school districts with only 89% of its required funding. For Naperville 203, that means in the last 4 years we have not received $4 million that the state owes us. Naperville has more stable funding due to property taxes, which have enabled us to avoid choices that would reduce or eliminate services to students. True fiscal responsibility means allocating financial resources in a way that is most efficient and has the most impact on student learning. Our district expends most resources, 82%, the light blue area, on general education, which includes the focus on what is most important, the things that impact what happens in the classroom. We allocate about 6% more than the average in Illinois. Test scores are not the only thing the District 203 benchmarks its performance against. The district also benchmarks its financial performance with comparable area school districts and the state average. Our community believes in District 203 mission while expecting us to achieve that mission in a fiscal responsible manner. Two areas we review are instructional and operational expenditures per pupil. Instructional expenditures refer to all instructional programs, including regular classrooms, special education, and other special programs. This chart shows that Naperville 203's instructional expenditures are just above the state average and less than some of our comparable districts. Operating expenditures refer to total district expenditures, excluding any capital costs such as building construction. Once again, Naperville 203 operational expenditures are just above the state average and less than some benchmark districts. Naperville 203 is proud that while our expenditures per pupil are just above the state average and less than some comparable districts, our academic performance is among the best. Finally, we're able to deliver a high-quality education program while allocating resources more successfully than districts across the state, which has resulted in a lower tax burden on the taxpayers than most of our benchmark districts who we compare ourselves against. One could argue that district residents are getting a great bang for their buck from D203. In addition to the required annual budget, we also prepare long-term financial projections. This projection you see is not a budget. A budget is a plan for expenditures for one specific school year that provides the services and programs as directed by the Board of Education. The long-term financial projection is a tool that shows us what will happen if revenues and expenditures follow the current trend, allowing for changes we think are coming or other known change assumptions. This financial model is reviewed and validated by the Citizens Finance Advisory Committee, made up of community members at least annually. The graph above represents the projections for our school districts. The blue line is the revenue projection, and the orange line is the expenditure projection. The district's current long-term financial projection, which has trended forward using our current and historical revenue and expenditures, indicates that our revenues will exceed expenditures at least until 2019. Our district continues to meet current and future financial challenges while maintaining a strong financial position. This past year, the district planned for and will implement the Affordable Health Care Act requirements by January 1st, 2015, with an estimated annual cost of $1.5 million, which is being fully offset by changes to the district's benefit plan. The district continues to monitor changes in state funding as the state of Illinois continues to prorate or eliminate state funding in the face of its own financial crisis. For example, state funding proration has shorted our district $4 million in just the last 4 years. The state of Illinois is considering shifting the state pension cost to the district. It would cost the district $2.4 million per year for each 1% in pension shift. If Senate Bill 16 is implemented, the district would lose an estimated $9.4 million per year, or 76% of the state funding, which will require the district to eliminate or reduce or eliminate, require the district to evaluate and reduce or eliminate programs which will impact student learning. However, it is important to note that while facing many financial challenges, the district continues to achieve stellar financial recognition. The district continues to maintain a AAA bond rating, a 4.0 financial profile score, which is the highest score given by the state of Illinois, and maintains the district's 10% cash reserve goals. With that, Superintendent Bridges.
So for the past year, you've heard me talking about the who we are, the what we do, and the how we get it done, and the resources available to us are all changing. And you've just heard that some of those changes continue for us. The students we serve, the curriculum in our classrooms, and the resources available to us are all changing. So I'm excited to share with you this evening our plan for addressing the ongoing changes. Focus 2020 is our strategic blueprint for comprehensive improvement now through the year 2020. Its priorities come directly from you. It is based on our best educational practice, and it has been developed with a vision for the future in the spirit of continued growth and continued improvement. So I'll begin by providing you with a little bit of background on how we arrived here. The Focus 2020 blueprint grew out of a lot of learning and listening. Its first phase of construction came during the time that I transitioned into the role of the superintendent. My transition plan was built around going out and listening and speaking with our stakeholders. I spent a great deal of time meeting with individuals and groups. I spoke with students, staff, parents, and community members about what makes our school district great and where you'd like to see us improve. A common theme I heard was the need for more two-way communication and engagement, and that feedback led to the decision to host a series of community meetings, Future Focus 203. And the charge for Future Focus 203 was twofold. First, to engage you, our community, to understand both the promise and the opportunities that we have in District 203. Second, to help us develop plans for the immediate, the right now, the intermediate, short-term, and the long-term future of District 203. As a community, we met 6 sessions, 12 times, in a format very similar to the one we're using tonight, and those sessions were between March 2013 and December 2013. And each of those sessions had a very distinct purpose. The first meeting was our inaugural State of the District presentation, where participants in that session identified the topics that you wanted to hear about for future study. We went on to have 4 more presentations centered around the following topics: student success, our programs of study, the district's finances, and our facilities. Our community facilitating team then presented the results of the community's work to the Board of Education in December of 2013. And that input has led to the District 203 Focus 2020 Strategic Blueprint. I invite you to turn to the page in your packet where you'll find the Strategic Blueprint, and it looks like this slide that you see. Hopefully you have that in your packet. Perfect. All right, so as you're getting there, Focus 2020 is the district's strategic blueprint for comprehensive improvement through 2020. And it emerged as a result of community feedback, best practice, and our vision for the future. We are confident that this blueprint will advance the fulfillment of our district's mission statement. Its purpose is to create clarity, establish clear priorities, define how we'll measure our success and what impact we'll have on the school district, and to fully guide our work moving forward. The blueprint includes 4 key strategic areas: to design and implement effective practices that promote learning experiences for all students, foster an equitable, high-performance culture based on student learning, steward our resources effectively to promote student learning, and to enhance communications and community relations. Each of the focus areas establishes our commitments, which are pledges for what we will accomplish within a defined time frame. You'll see those commitments listed under each strategic focus area. Each of those commitments are supported by work plans that show timeline, action steps, and indicators of success and our organizational impact. Very soon, you'll have We will have a digital document available to you through our website that will allow you to click on any commitment and view the related work plan. Although benchmark dates are 2016, 2018, and 2020, work has been underway since the recommendations were brought forward last December, and some of that work even prior to that. When our elementary schools opened their doors earlier this fall, for the first time ever, all 14 elementary schools offered all-day kindergarten to our newest students. This early learning initiative will transform how we instruct our youngest students. We were recently commended by the Regional Office of Education for providing this to our children. As you heard earlier from Dr. Hester, we've introduced new, more rigorous curriculum in all of our schools. Last year, we introduced new math curriculum. While this year, after a limited rollout in some grade levels last year, District 203 students are experiencing a new, more rigorous English and language arts curriculum. And we also have a science curriculum team that has recommended the new course pathway and is beginning work on developing a new science curriculum. This year, District 203 is implementing a 2-year system of support for new educators, providing mentors for all and ongoing job-embedded professional learning aligned to district goals and missions. The investment in a teacher is a significant investment for our community and our school district. To ensure their success is one of our important endeavors. To date, new educators have participated in multiple summer professional learning opportunities and have begun collaborating regularly with their mentors. We have reconstructed and restructured existing positions with our communications and community relations offices to better communicate and engage with you, our stakeholders, by taking greater advantage of resources such as Twitter, Facebook, video, and our new website. The initiatives underway this school year are ambitious also. Our schools continue to collaboratively develop and implement research-based school improvement plans intended to increase student achievement among all students and to create high-performance cultures that are focused on student learning. This year, we launched the Digital Learning Initiative that Dr. Hester spoke about to impact what happens in our classroom through the use of technology. You also heard about the online and blended consortium that we've developed to offer online learning to students in District 203 as well as their neighbors in District 204 and Wheaton 200. In collaboration with our architectural team and considering input provided by you, our community, through the Future Focus process, we are completing a facility master plan. This plan will examine the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, site, and interior conditions of our facilities. Additionally, we'll be examining learning spaces to ensure our classrooms are equipped to support learning. Some of our schools this year are prototype sites for classroom and library furnishings and equipment. Those prototype sites will allow us to study how the more modern and movable furnishings in the classroom help create a more flexible learning environment that are more responsive to student needs. A current comprehensive demographic study, which will examine enrollment trends in our school district, is underway and expected to be completed late this fall. Our school district recognizes and values collaborative relationships with our business community. As members of the Chamber of Commerce, the Naperville Development Partnership, and business leaders throughout the community have been involved in helping us rebuild a robust business partnership executive council. This year, we continue to work to build a robust school business partnership program that will help us prepare students for their college and career readiness. And in partnership with the Naperville Unit Education Association, we are piloting new teacher evaluation models that use student growth as a portion of the teacher's evaluation. So what does this all mean for us? It means that the state of the district is one of ongoing, continuous improvement. Our plan establishes clear priorities and provides a laser focus for the work that we do. The blueprint establishes clear metrics to measure our growth, and we believe it represents the values and input of all of our stakeholders. Ultimately, this plan will guide us toward realizing the mission of District 203 for every student. I guess the most appropriate way to say this, though, is to thank you and to say congratulations. Thank you for your continued support for our students and for the work that we do in our schools, but congratulations because it's your input that has really provided the foundation for the development of this strategic plan. Your ongoing engagement is critical, and it will be necessary for us to ensure success in our work. So thank you again for being a part of who we are and what we do. And it's now my pleasure to invite our Director of Community Relations, Julie Carlson, to give you your work directions for the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Bridges. I would like to thank the entire panel, Superintendent Dan Bridges, Chief Academic Officer Jen Hester, and our Chief Financial Officer Brad Kaufman. I'd also like to thank our Deputy Superintendent Kane Osborne for his introductory comments tonight. And as Dan already mentioned, I want to thank all of you for coming. We know that there are many things competing for your time, and we appreciate you being here tonight. But now that we've heard the presentation, it's time to get to work. The purpose of the small group work is to allow community members to provide the district with your own input. So I want to take you through the instructions to make sure that everyone understands the tasks. Each of you received a small group activity worksheet in your packet, and now that the superintendent has asked you to look for the blueprint, you all know where to find that. You will use this document to capture your individual thoughts and reactions to the presentation and to your discussion. Once you're in your breakout room, you'll also find a pink version of this sheet, it looks like this, on the center of your table in your assigned grouping. There will also be a sign-in sheet there. We'd ask that you please provide the information that is requested. This is our way of taking attendance and keeping in touch with you regarding future community engagement events. So once you're in your table groups, you will select a recorder and a facilitator at your table. The facilitator should facilitate the discussions to keep the group work focused and on task so that work is completed in the allotted time. And then you will also ask somebody to report the group's information when time permits at the end. So once work group begins, the recorder will be responsible for completing the information on the pink worksheet. This worksheet will be collected at the conclusion of the session, and it will be used for the verbatim transcripts of your input that will be shared with district administration. Now tonight, I'm going to ask the administrators and the board members to remain seated, and then I'm going to go ahead and direct everyone else to their locations first, because we want to have the community stakeholders and our teachers leading these conversations and taking leadership roles in those groups. Okay. So, recorders, just as a reminder, you will make sure that the information committed to the pink sheet reflects the collective decision or the general consensus and agreement among the group. Not just the opinion of one or two individuals or you because you have the almighty pen, okay? So it should reflect collective discussion. Facilitators, again, I'm going to ask you to monitor your time and progress to make sure that you finish in the allotted time. At the end of the session, we will collect the pink worksheets that were completed by each of the recorders. All right, on to task one, which is really very straightforward and simple. Based on the information that was provided in the presentation tonight, what deserves celebration? And where do you see opportunity? Okay, two simple questions. Task number 2 is a little bit more involved, and this is the meaty part that you're going to enjoy. We're going to ask that you review that Focus 2020 strategic blueprint that each of you received. We'd like you to pay close attention to the 2016 commitments. Which of those commitments would you like to learn more about? We'd like you to consider this because it will be shaping what future topics are addressed in additional Focus 203 sessions. So you'll develop a list of topics, and there's a sample up here. When we were talking about the next generation standards for science, I mean, it's kind of the one piece that's uncharted territory. So one thing that jumped out to me was the STEM education plan. So that was something that I listed there, and for me it was priority 1, but this is just a sample. So you'll brainstorm your list of possible topics, and then as a group you'll prioritize them. And once you've prioritized them, we'd ask that you go back to look at them individually and consider the topic and additional details like concepts, issues, opportunities, or questions that you may have that you'd like to be addressed in the study of the topic. So for STEM education, we heard a lot about engineering. Maybe you'd like to know what engineering components are going to be addressed in STEM education. How is that going to be articulated through the grades? What are our 3rd graders going to be learning versus our 7th graders versus juniors or seniors in high school? And what global benchmarks might the district be considering when implementing STEM education plan? Again, this is just an example, but this shows you kind of how we want you to go through this process. So when we're done, we will ask the groups to report out as we always do. We will be dismissing to a different location, so we'll ask you to come back in here, and the reporter will get a microphone and you'll get to present out. You will be presenting for task 1, again, what you identified as the biggest celebration and the greatest opportunity. And then for task 2, we'll ask you to report out your number 1 priority for a future topic, and then offer a little bit of detail on some of the concepts that you'd like addressed in that topic.